He looked at the palm of his hand, and then looked at me with wide eyes. He had noticed the cold, that absolute ice I have beneath my skin that is not human. He didn't touch me again. He kicked the back door open and stepped aside to let me through. "Get out," he said, his voice changed. He wasn't laughing anymore. He looked at me with pure disgust. "Get out of here, you corpse." I left the alley and didn't stop until I reached the ice. I went with empty hands and broken pride. I knew I was breaking the deal, but I had no other choice. I threw myself to the ground in front of the hole, waiting for her to drag me to the bottom for having failed. She came out, but she didn't look at my hands. She fixed her eyes on my ribs, sunken from Ivan's blow, and smiled. She didn't care about the meat or the liquor. She cared about seeing that I had lost, that Ivan had treated me like trash. "Hatred looks good on you," she told me. She threw the fish onto the ice without asking for anything else and sank. I grabbed the fish and ran to the cabin. As I ran, I touched my side. I felt the broken bone moving under my skin with every step. An internal clicking that should have been agonizing, but I felt nothing. It was like touching a stranger's body. I went in and threw the fish onto the fire. My mother didn't ask why I came back with torn clothes, nor why my chest was sunken and bruised. She only had eyes for the pan. She ate the fish with her hands, burning her fingers. And I stayed there, standing in the dark, feeding my resentment toward Ivan, while I watched my own mother turn into something that only knew how to swallow. She wiped the grease from her mouth and fell asleep instantly, letting out a wet snore, as if she had water in her chest. The heat from the fish made her sweat. In her sleep, she kicked and pushed away the old blanket covering her legs. I stepped closer to cover her, but I froze before I could touch her. The pale skin of her calves had vanished. In its place was a hard, shimmering crust, reaching down to her feet. I reached out and brushed it with my fingertip. It was cold, hard, and sharp. They were scales. Scales of a dirty blue color, identical to those of the woman from the lake. I backed away until I hit the wall, finally understanding what I had done. I wasn't curing her. I was turning her into her. I covered her with the blanket carefully. She didn't wake up, but her breathing changed. Now it was slow and deep, as if she were hibernating. I spent the night awake, watching her legs beneath the cloth. At dawn, when I tried to wake her to give her a little water, she didn't respond. Her eyes were open, fixed on the ceiling, and a thin layer of frost covered her eyelashes. She didn't speak. She didn't ask for food. She only waited. Her skin was growing colder and colder, but she was still alive. I realized the fish wasn't just taking away her hunger, but her humanity as well. I left the cabin in a rage, stick in hand, and went down to the lake, determined not to return without answers. I reached the hole and struck the ice with the stick, over and over with such force that the wood creaked. She emerged slowly, calm, unafraid of my anger. I didn't wait for her to ask for anything. I demanded to know what was happening to my mother, why her skin was turning hard, and why she no longer recognized me. The creature tilted her head and looked at me with that inhuman calm, like someone explaining something simple to a child. "I am saving her," she said softly.